There was a time when black people tried to warn white folks not to be duped by the American system. Yes, this is long time ago in history. Looking back in 1680 something, 1686, when the Bacons Rebellion was happening. Remember, black people and white people were one, right? So the elites came and, played them. The elites came and lied to them and tell them that, you can't be better than black people because of your color. And what happened? They fallen into the lies that they were given. Now, fast forward, it is in the 21st century. What we are envisioning in America right now, we are seeing people losing hope in a system that they once trusted. But here's the catch. Black Americans warned white people not to trust American society. Because you see the way America is treating black people and how it has always treated black people. It's the same way one day it will treat you. White folks never thought that those days will come. Black people went ahead during the elections. They told them, please do not vote for Mr. Donald Trump. The fact that he looks like you, that doesn't mean that he has good interest in art for what's happening in you, like economically. But white people, what did they choose? They chose racism. They chose anything that was going against black people because they decided to play part of the oppressor, and now they became the oppressor. Today, brothers and sisters, we are seeing white people having realization of modern life in America. They are realizing that all of these things that has been happening, it's been a trap. They are learning that they are trapped and they have nowhere to go. But somehow, somewhere, people are asking themselves, why are black people getting their escape? Why is everything that black people are doing seems to be doing good? I know the economy is not fair to everyone. Black people are tilled or had cultivated something called black resilience. This is something that white people really struggle having. But black people have resilience because America has taught them not to trust the system. But white people trusted the system. And now what are we seeing? That's what's happening. So brothers and sisters, let's watch the video. I'll be back.
Isn't it insane that wanting a normal life now is considered a luxury?
It's wild that as a two-income household, my husband and I have come to the realization we can't afford groceries.
A person can make $30 an hour and is going to struggle.
We are barely keeping our heads above water and living check to check, even making 4 times at this point what we did 10 years ago.
We make a combined, I want to say, over $100,000 a year pre-tax, and still at the end of every month we're overdrawn.
Bro, how are people making it? If you making $30 an hour, it's weird to ask that, but how are you making it? After you pay your rent, $1,500 a month, that's on the low side. Car note, $500 a month. Phone bill, $100 a month. Insurance, gas, food, electricity, health insurance, all these day-to-day expenses. How are people making it? You do the math and you come back and tell me what the numbers look like for you. Because a person can make $30 an hour and is going to struggle. I can only imagine making $15 an hour. You cannot live on that. No, you cannot. You cannot convince me otherwise. You cannot live on $15 or $30 an hour, or you're going to stay broke.
So what's the end game? Like, what happens when the economy goes completely belly up and everything is absolutely too expensive to just exist? Because right now, it's almost impossible to be able to afford an apartment, to afford car insurance, to afford gas. Like, $100 for your cell phone every month, $80 just for internet service. Like, what happens when we just can't afford to live? Because as a single income household, this shit is damn near impossible right now.
Okay, serious question real quick. How are we supposed to afford life? I have 3 kids. What? And my husband and I both have full-time incomes. And I still am puzzled. Like, it's an enigma. Like, for real, why? I just left Walmart and got the bare minimum. Bare minimum for groceries. Like, bare minimum. And cheap stuff. Baby, we ain't eating salmon and steak, baby. We eating hamburger helper, some Doritos. Like, we getting like the Dino Nuggies, okay? Great value brand. Now, I did get 3 pairs of kids' shoes because my kids are starting back to school and they need some new sneakers. But tell me why I got the bare minimum in groceries and 3 pairs of sneakers, and I'm coming out just shy of $300. There's no way. This is crazy. Like, I had children on the understanding that if I worked hard and put my pennies away, that we would be okay. And now I'm feeling not okay. And then my intrusive thoughts just come in and they start thoughting, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I have 3 kids that are all very close together, which means they're all going to be in college at the same time. How in the world am I supposed to send them to college? Now, don't get me wrong. I know that, like, it's completely normal for people to just take out student loans and do all that, but I was lucky enough that my mother paid my way through college semester by semester, like the strong single mom she is, by making sacrifices because she didn't want me to have all that debt. And while I am not naive enough to know that I may not be able to do that for 3 children, I still hope to be able to help, you know, ease that burden. And I'm like, huh? How? Literally how? Mama, I don't know how much harder mama can hustle, okay? Mama is making the moolah, and the moolah is not spreading thinly, and I can't make it reach all corners. It's crazy.
Good morning, kids and humans under 40. I want to show you something based on my last text. Don't get loud with me. The average rent in Massachusetts is $29.63 a month. Do not say that this is just Boston area. This is not even luxury. These are towns. There you go. Is another site. Studio average is a studio, $2,396. That does not include utilities. 1 bedroom, $25.57. 2 bedroom, $29.63. Follow me for a second. Average income in Massachusetts per person is $48,593. You are supposed to make 3 times the rent in Massachusetts to have an apartment. If you were to make 3 times the rent in Massachusetts at $29.63 times 3, that's going to bring you to $8,889 a month. Ready? We're not done. Since y'all like to do math or yell at me for not doing math. That is $106,000 a year. Are you making $106,000 a year? And before you get on here with your 25 and under attitude saying, oh, we'll just pick a better degree. Some of these people have been in their careers for 20 years. And what was paying $65,000 10 years ago is still paying $65,000, and it's no longer a good job.
I saw this video on here and she was like, what is a normal 2-income household nowadays? And I was reading through the comments, which I shouldn't have done. But me and my husband are blessed. We make good money, but yet we still struggle because we are essentially paying 3 mortgages every single month. We have our actual mortgage, we have our student loan debt, which my husband has a doctorate degree and I have a master's degree, so you can only imagine. And we also have daycare for 2 kids, which is a small mortgage. So literally over half of our income goes just to those 3 things. We're not talking about food, we're not talking about cars, we're not talking about insurances, we're not talking about savings, we're not talking about utilities, we're not talking about like clothing our kids, diapers.
I live in Virginia, and in Virginia, even if you own your vehicle, you still have to pay taxes on it every single year. It's called personal property taxes, and it can affect your cars, trailers that you have, campers, RVs, boats, anything along the lines of that. Even though you pay taxes on it when you purchase it, you are still going to pay taxes on it every single year, even if it's paid off. The area that I live in, we get one bill a year and it is due at the end of every year right around Christmas time. There are other areas that get a bill twice a year, so they have 2 smaller bills throughout the course of the year. So let's review our bill because it just came in the mail yesterday. The way it works is the county gets an assessed value for your item. So whether that's your car, camper, whatever it is, they give you an assessed value. And then there is a rate per $100 that you pay. This year's rate is $2.35 per $100 of the piece of property that you own. And then they charge you per month that you own that item. So if you had your car for 12 months, they're going to charge you for 12 months. If you owned it for 6 months and then got a different car, they'll charge you for the first 6 months for the first car and then the second 6 months for the second car. I had to fold this so you guys couldn't see my personal information. But for us to own our personal property in the state of Virginia this year, $2,104.45 is what we have to pay to the county right before Christmas time. Last year when I posted the video on how much we owed, everyone was like, oh, that probably includes like their registration and tags and all that. No, that is a whole separate charge. This bill right here is specifically for owning a car or camper, trailer, whatever, in the state of Virginia.
I used to think that if I got a mortgage, it would stay the same forever. So when I bought a house, I had this mindset like, okay, cool. The mortgage is $2,400 a month, and that's just what it'll be for the next 30 years. I'll get raises, but that number stays the same. Except here's the thing, it doesn't. Even if your interest rate is fixed, your mortgage still goes up. Sometimes a lot because of escrow. Property taxes go up, your home insurance goes up, your escrow account comes up short, so your lender just increases your monthly payment to cover that. And it's not like it's optional, they just do it. So yeah, technically your loan is fixed or your rate is fixed, but your payment isn't. Nobody really explains that part until it hits your bank account.
How are we all living right now? In 2025, how are we all getting by? And this is no way political, so please leave that behind at the door. But in reality, friends, fellow Americans, how are we living? How are you getting by? I don't believe there's a middle class anymore. I believe middle class is now low income, and low income is now just not surviving. So what brings me to this today is, well, a few things. One thing, for example, our town has been building these apartments, and every town is required to give so much percentage to affordable housing. And so they've announced that the lottery is beginning for the low income section of this apartment building at $2,300 a month for a 2-bedroom. A 1-bedroom was like $2,100. That's how much you would have to make basically a week. And that's low income. Our state senator on Facebook announced that. Very exciting news. I called it out. Many people agreed. Some didn't. You can kind of see where we're going with that. Who's not struggling right now and who is and understands. Another example, groceries. Is there anyone that can afford to buy groceries at this day and time? Everyone, I'm sure, has cut back. I can be honest, I no longer eat 3 meals a day, maybe 1. I mean, I do have an eating issue anyway, but so it's easy for me to do that. But what about the people that don't? Like, you can't afford to eat anymore. I remember when things were normal, I have a Market Basket as our local grocery store, and I could get a full week's of groceries, full week's worth of groceries for $100 or less. Eggs were 99 cents. It was just the affordable grocery store. It is still the most affordable grocery store, but that $100 is now $300. My son buys the same groceries every week when he was by himself, before he had his son, and it used to be between 40 and 50 bucks. He was a single guy, but then it went to 100 bucks for the same exact grocery list, like the same exact things. It's just not sustainable for anybody. And then if God forbid like that, what has just happened to us. You run into any kind of crisis, because we have, very recently, we're in it right now. What do you do? What do you do? Because there's no money to put away anymore. There's no money. Every ounce of what we had was going into the bills that we started back when things were more affordable. But as costs were rising, those same bills are now double, but with the same income. But I mean, what do people do? I know, like, side hustles, everyone's doing side hustles now, but then it's harder to get side hustles because everybody needs them. And when you have a full-time job where you're working 40, 50, I don't even think full-time is 40 anymore, like say 50, 60 hours. My son works 60 hours a week and still can't afford anything. After caring for his son, he can't afford anything. And I just don't know how people are doing it. And like I said, I don't know when crisis hits, what are people supposed to do? The only people making out right now are people that have the money and can afford this kind of economy. And that being said, the only other thing I see that is so frustrating to me is there's people out there that don't work, but yet somehow they're still thriving. They're still, like, I see it on the daily around my town where they don't work. Maybe they're disabled. I don't know their exact story, but I know they don't work. But they're at the dispensary because it's legal in our town, in our state, every day or every other day. They're at the liquor store. They smoke cigarettes. They get DoorDash 2 times a day, coffee delivered in the morning from Dunks. Nails did every week or every other week. They're thriving somehow without working. But the people that are busting their ass, there just feels like no hope right now. So if you guys are going through it, which I'm quite sure most of you watching this are, let me know in the comments if there's any hints, suggestions on what to do, especially in a crisis. And if you just want to vent it out, leave it in the comments below. And I don't have any answers to this, obviously, but I need to finally say something. I've been careful on here, you know, because it can be just kind of maybe perceived as political, and this isn't by any means. So I just am frustrated today, so it's time to speak out. So that's what I'm doing. And my dog's hair is going everywhere. Say hi, Piper. She doesn't have to worry about the economy. We'll always take care of her. I'll starve before I don't take care of her. Huh.
I'm going to try and make it through this video without breaking down. Today is my son's 17th birthday. Happy birthday, my boy. He is 1 year away from the point that he is supposed to be leaving the house, going out into the world on his own, becoming an adult. And there's just absolutely no way. As I look at the prospects for what his future is potentially going to look like in the state of the world and the state of our country today, it absolutely enrages me. 10 years ago, I made 1/3 what I do right now. My partner did not work, and we had virtually no debt, and we're getting by just fine. Absolutely no problems at all. Today, I make 3 times as much. She works at a job that requires a master's degree, and not just working full-time, working so much more than full-time. And we are barely getting by. Don't get me wrong, we are getting by, which is to say that we are doing better than a lot of other people who are absolutely not getting by right now. But we are barely keeping our heads above water and living check to check, even making 4 times at this point what we did 10 years ago. And every time I turn around, all I see in the corporate world is record-breaking profits, record-breaking profits. And every time I hear that, all I hear is record-breaking theft, record-breaking fraud, record-breaking extortion, because those record profits are the stolen wages of the workers. CEOs and the billionaire class are the only non-essential component of our economic system, period. If all of them disappeared tomorrow, if all of them were somehow eliminated from the equation, it would not affect our day-to-day lives or the functionality of corporations or any other businesses as a whole at all. We would see no disturbance in our lives, save for being unburdened by their greed and extortion. That is it. I look at companies like Walmart. They are one of the most profitable companies in the world, and they are the largest employer of SNAP benefit recipients. They have more workers who are on benefits while being one of the most profitable companies in the world. And that's why they're that profitable, is because they pay nothing, because they are allowed to pay nothing. We have to flip the table and stop playing their game.
Isn't it insane that wanting a normal life now is considered a luxury? Like, we're not asking for yachts. We're not asking for mansions. We're literally just asking for a life that doesn't feel like drowning. A place to live that doesn't take our entire paycheck. A car that doesn't require a loan longer than the relationship that got us into it. And groceries that don't feel like a punishment for trying to eat. We're not chasing some billionaire fantasy. We just want a fair shot. We want time with our families. We want energy after work instead of collapsing on the couch, praying that the weekend feels longer than 6 minutes. We were told, work hard, be loyal, show up. We did. But while we're doing everything right, they kept moving the finish line. The rent went up, the food went up, the bills went up, but the paychecks haven't done shit. And the people at the top still had the nerve to tell us it's not that bad. Brother, it is bad. If being able to afford a dentist appointment means going into debt, if missing one day of work means falling behind, if a cart of basic groceries gives you anxiety, that's not a personal problem. That's a broken system. So if we sound angry, it's because we are. We're tired of being lectured by the people who've never struggled, while we're trying to survive in a system designed to keep us desperate. We don't want luxury. We just want our lives back. And the fact that even that feels like asking too damn much tells you everything.
I never wanted to come on here and like complain about money because it's embarrassing for me to do so, because I have a lot of friends and family that follow me on this account. But I guess that's what I'm gonna do today. My husband and I make more than we ever have. We make a combined, I want to say, over $100,000 a year pre-tax. Pre-tax. And still, at the end of every month, we're overdrawn. Like, we're in the red $1,600 every single month. I have canceled every subscription possible that I can cancel. I've canceled our streaming services. I've canceled like any gym memberships. Literally anything that I can cancel, I have. My husband is trying to pick up freelance work like in his industry. I'm trying to pick up a second job, and it's just, nothing is ever enough. Nothing is ever enough. We don't eat out. We budget every single penny that we have. We shop at Walmart or Aldi for groceries. We only buy what we need for that week. We don't buy any extra snacks for ourselves. We always buy extra for our son, obviously, but never for like us. And with all of that budgeting and everything, we are still in the hole. Still in the hole. Like, today is Tuesday. I'm overdrawn $300 in my account, and I don't get paid until Friday. And on Friday, when I do get paid, I'm gonna have to call my bank and beg for them to reverse the overdraft charges, and just beg that they will. And they probably won't. I don't know what else to do. Like, we are doing everything right and still coming up short. And I don't understand how people are supposed to live like this. I don't understand how this is sustainable much longer. It feels like I'm on a really shitty treadmill and I'm running in place, and I am running at a speed that is too fast for me, too fast for us. And I don't know when I'm gonna fall off, and I'm just trying so hard to stay on, but I keep feeling like I'm slipping. I'm happy to know that I'm not alone in this struggle, but it's just very hard.
I just logged in to our health insurance provider, and I can't even, In July of 2025, our health insurance premium went from $59 a month to $798 a month. And since it is now open enrollment, I just logged in to our health insurance to see what, if we stay on the same plan, what our premium is going to be for 2026. $1,208.91 a month. Our family deductible has gone from $0 to $11,900. Our primary care copays have doubled. Our urgent care copay went from $10 to $60. Our generic prescription copay has doubled. And this is coming off of the fact that my husband just had to have a prescription filled that is supposed to be covered by insurance. And you want to know what the copay was on that after insurance? $1,200 for a prescription, on top of the $798 health insurance premium that we just paid. And this doesn't have to do, this is separate from everyone else's rising costs in health insurance, but we are self-employed. We are real estate agents. And this is just in addition to the next time somebody wants to devalue or question how much their real estate agent is getting paid and wants them to take a reduction in their commission, just remember that your real estate agent is going through the same things as you, paying this out of pocket if they even have health insurance, withholding their own taxes if they can even afford to do so.
I am somewhere between we can't afford that and we need to save money, and I will cash out my 401k for a dirty martini.
So I was just out on a walk right now, and check out these homes next to this path that I'm on. I was looking these homes up on Zillow, and you're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of $615, $625, $650 in some cases for these really tiny houses. I mean, they're not very big. You can see the properties they're sitting on are tiny, and yet people want $650,000 for these homes at what, 6.25% interest rates? Like, no wonder nobody can afford anything.
Right, the health insurance industry is an absolute sham. I don't know how I'm paying $1,500 a month for health insurance, but every single person in my policy has a $6,000 copay, which means I've been going to the doctor all year. I thought my copays went towards our premiums and the amount that we had to pay to get coverage. However, it doesn't. My wife just had a serious event. She had to go to the hospital. She had to have life-saving surgery. And we got a bill in the mail from the hospital for over $3,000 for this procedure. And I'm thinking back, like, I'm paying $1,500 a month for this health insurance. I've personally paid thousands of dollars over the course of this year in copays for myself and stuff that I had to go to the doctors for. So I'm sitting here thinking, like, I'm gonna spend $1,500 a month for the next 12 months. What is that, like 18 grand? And then I have to spend $6,000 a person just to get them to cover things. So you're looking at, we have 5 people in our family. If all of us have to go to the hospital, that's $30,000 in copays that we have to pay on top of the $18,000 in monthly charges to actually get coverage. As a father of 3, I'm strongly considering canceling our health insurance policy, which feels very irresponsible and wrong, but I can't remember the last time I spent over $48,000 in a year in health costs between copays and health insurance and all of this stuff. If I just pay cash, I'm never going to pay anywhere near that amount. For instance, the surgery my wife just had, if we paid cash on that surgery and we didn't have insurance, it would have ran us about $1,200. But because we had insurance and the insurance wasn't going to cover it, we have to pay what the insurance was going to pay, which is over $3,000. Are other families seeing the same thing? Maybe I'm just being unreasonable and crashing out here, but it just doesn't make sense to me.
How is it possible that every single city in the world right now, it seems, is going through a housing crisis? You hear the same stories all the time. There's not enough jobs, the jobs that do exist don't pay enough, and nobody can afford rent. And it seems like this is a global issue, not just here in the States. And I'm wondering, how can this continue? I mean, is it going to be the same 5 years from now? It just seems like we are on this trend, like we're going off the cliff of affordability, and nobody can make it work. And if every city becomes unaffordable and everybody's leaving the cities, what's going to happen to the cities? Are they just going to be ghost towns? Is everyone going to move out to the country? It's really fascinating to think about. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where we go from here. You know, I say a lot, it feels like we're in the end game of capitalism. Of course, right as we're all, getting out of college and getting out into the world is when everything becomes unaffordable. It's like we're in an everything bubble. It feels like we're right around the corner of something happening, and nobody quite knows what. And it's kind of scary, but it's also kind of like we're all in this together. You know what I mean? We're all in this boat of nobody can afford anything together.
I just want to say that it's wild that as a 2-income household, my husband and I have come to the realization we can't afford groceries right now. Like, just straight up can't afford groceries, because if we buy groceries, then we either won't be able to pay our rent or our electric bill, because both of those come out of this pay cycle and they will take the entire pay cycle. That's bonkers. That's so wild. We have 2 incomes and we cannot afford to eat, and we don't even have kids. Like, it's literally just the 2 of us, and we can't afford to eat with 2 incomes. That is just... But I mean, I guess, that means we won't have to wash dishes, because our dishwasher is still broken, as it has been for 2 months at the place that we pay so much in rent. Wild.
I'm about to shit a literal brick right now. I'm at Food Lion. These prices are f***ing insane. Boneless beef chuck steak, $82.99. $0.83, $99.99 a pound. Look at this. Look at this. This is crazy. That's f***ing insane. Hey, I got a question. Is this for real? Like, me and my husband are arguing over it to see if that's a legit price or is it messed up. I know they went up on meat like hardcore, but I was like, is that real?
I mean, I'm not
right.
It seems a little high to me.
That does. Well, see, there's like 3 or 4 of them over there that are all $80-something.
I guess it must be. I mean, I don't work in.
I know prices is high, but damn.
Well, we have officially reached the I can't afford cream cheese stage of capitalism.
So it really hit me today while getting groceries how expensive things are getting. I got 3 bags of groceries and it was $105. I got a pack of ribeyes, the value pack, that was $30. That was kind of the most expensive thing out of the bunch. A package of cookies, 2 loaves of sourdough, some Parmesan cheese, 2 things of the cheapest pasta I could find, and then some Boursin cheese and cherry tomatoes. And it was $105. I don't know how people are surviving. I don't know why it just hit me today. I live by myself, so maybe it just doesn't really hit me as often as people with families, but I really feel for you. I don't know how people are getting by other than just going into credit card debt and debt in general. And it's not just the grocery prices that are up right now, it's the overall cost of living. I mean, house prices, rent, vehicle prices, you name it. So if you have a little bit extra to give to others right now would be the time to do it, coming into these holiday seasons, Christmas and the New Year's. Just if you know somebody, a single mom, whoever, just trying to make it, maybe get their groceries for a week, because this just really put it in perspective for me. I mean, I got 3 bags of groceries, and like I said, I live alone, so overall the things right now don't affect me as much as someone that has a family. So if you have a little bit extra, now's the time to do it.
So I went to the grocery store today,
and understand my dynamic, I have a 50-50 custody, and we do week to week. So I have 2 teenage boys, or one soon to be a teenager, and I spent food only. I didn't buy any non-food items, and we eat fresh food. I don't buy a lot of box stuff, processed foods, a lot of fruit and yogurt and eggs, milk, healthy stuff. $350. $350. I don't even know if it'll last me the week. And I was just talking with my ex-wife, and I was like, what do you spend? Because I think I'm doing it wrong. And she told me, and it's about the same. So if we were still together, we would be spending $1,700 a month just in food. This doesn't include all the other household items I typically buy elsewhere. That's crazy.
I usually don't do a TikTok in a grocery store, but it's after church and everybody's shopping. So I said, well, I'll make some, ground meat and pasta later today. Do you see that? $27.76 for 3 pounds of ground meat. Oh my God. Looks like we're going to have to start eating a lot more carbs. Or maybe going vegan. I mean, thank God it's just me and my husband, but wow. These are like $30 a pack. Unbelievable.
Gotta be effing kidding me. This is what I used to pay for my medium-sized coffee. This is the small can now. This is my... Are you serious?
If my household is struggling to budget for groceries and then stay within that budget, and I'm telling you that I didn't go to the grocery store and buy a bunch of lobster tails and name brand foods and throw them in the cart. No, I very specifically said in that video that I had my bean burrito budget ready to go. I went to the grocery store expecting to only buy the most basic food I needed to get by for a week. And I still blew my grocery budget out. Like, I spent almost, twice as much as I expected to spend on groceries. Like, groceries are unsustainably priced. If I am struggling to buy groceries with 2 full-time adult incomes at my disposal, and I'm struggling with the rising cost of food and being able to balance my budget, being able to save the money that I need to save for emergencies, for retirement, for my health, right? Save the money that I need to save and also live today, that they're not those things are not compatible, they're not sustainable. And if I'm struggling, what is a senior on fixed income doing? What is a young person that's working a low wage job? What is a disabled person? What's a single parent doing? If 2 adult incomes are causing me to struggle, and your advice is that I should go to a food pantry with 2 full adult incomes at my disposal, what about everybody else? Everybody else is still buying beef at $7 a pound when it's on sale. The non-sale price for ground beef right now is in some places $11.99 a pound. I live in America. I have a grocery store. Just where I live right now, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grocery stores in a mile radius of my home. I should be able to work, earn money, set a budget, go to the grocery store, and buy food in my budget and not feel like I'm going to scream at the end of it.
So I'm at Walmart, and I've never really cared too much about some of the prices of stuff going up, but this one right here, this one pisses me off. My favorite ramen noodles. Bro, I used to get this shit for 10 cents.
The price of things is just, this is disgusting, actually. It's out of control. I'm sorry. Why is this $4? And that's the sale. $4. Are you joking? I saw a bag of rice for $10. everybody knows rice is like, you know, that's your cheap food. $10, and the bag was probably like yay big. It's not a giant bag.
$879.53 that I paid in energy usage in August for my Airbnb. That's like 1 2-night stay. Look at this. What? All right, I need to get a grip on this.
What uses more power? All of the EVs in the United States or all of the data centers in the United States? I ask because we were told for years that the grid in the United States couldn't handle EVs. So right now in the United States, data centers consume 126 terawatt hours of electricity a year, which is roughly 17 or 18 times more power than EVs. As a matter of fact, data centers in the United States use about the same amount of power as all of the EVs on the entire planet. So I want you to think about this, because we know the rise in our electricity bills is directly tied to data centers and new data centers. By 2030, we expect the amount of power that data centers consume just in the United States will nearly triple. And to put that in perspective, by 2030, data centers in the United States will use more power than the power that is consumed by 120 countries around the world, including Saudi Arabia, Australia, the United Kingdom, Mexico, Indonesia. Just our data centers will use more power than those entire countries. Now consider this, to meet all of that electricity demand, we need to add about 7,500 miles of high voltage transmission lines in the United States per year between now and 2030. In 2024, we added 350. In 2023, we added like 310. This year will probably be in the threes again. Yes. All of that means is that our grid cannot support the data centers we are building. But they're going to build it anyway. Yeah. The only question is, how much is it going to cost you on your electric bill? Especially by 2030.
Anybody else feel the same way, where you're like overwhelmed and stressing out about everything, but at the same time, you just feel defeated and you don't care? I don't really know how that works, but we're here, so.
Can't believe we had to be adults in the most unaffordable time in history. Like what luck is that? You know, every other generation got starter homes. We got starter packs for depression. Our parents were buying houses for the price of what we pay in rent now. Meanwhile, we're out here financing phones like they're real estate. Groceries, forget it. I walk into the store with $100 and leave with 2 bags of sadness and milk. You know, eggs cost more than my car insurance. Avocados are basically an investment property. So, and don't even talk to me about rent. Rent is just a cover charge for existing. Like, you're paying over $2,000 a month for the privilege of living in a box with suspicious plumbing. You know, utilities out of control, internet, forget it. You know, health insurance, this is an extortion racket. I mean, you can't even get sick, but being alive is already too expensive. Yeah, so yeah, we really got dealt the worst hand. I mean, we were told work hard and you'll have stability. Nah, we worked hard and we got, you know, Spotify Premium, you know, 3 streaming services and trauma. So, you know, other generations got the American dream. We got the American receipt.
Okay, guys, there's something we have to talk about because I'm getting to be really worried about us as a society. This is the second time in a row now where I wanted to like use cash that I had, which I don't do very often, but I had some cash in my wallet and some change that I want to get rid of. And I've gone to a place and purchased something and gave them like a little bit extra so that I can get a full $1 back versus breaking a bill, and like gave change. And when I tell you the like actual stop that gives this person, like they can't compute, like it's like a computer has broken down and stalled for several minutes. And this is unfortunately, I fear, turning into an epidemic because we're starting to not use cash. And I really think that this is scary. And I just was listening to someone on on here the other day saying that we're losing our ability to think. And I understand, like, the places I was at, you know, it's probably not the most adept people in some of these jobs, but you should be able to type the numbers into the system and count change and have it spit back the right number and count the change out. I'm worried that we no longer can do this as a society. Like, the general population might not be able to. It's getting scary out there.
Well, we're looking at leaving. We're going to look at Canada and Portugal. Those are the two places we're looking. I can't even believe that I have to say this, but I am not going to sit and wait and hope that what we're seeing unfold doesn't actually happen. I'm not. I'm almost 60. What does that give me? Another 25, 30 years? I'm just keeping it real here. I don't want to live it like this. It's just not. No, I don't want to. And so, do I want to leave my country? No. But my country kind of disappeared around 2015. And now it's unrecognizable to me. And so we're going to do a little research. We've got our Go stuff packed, all our documentation. We are going to check out Canada first, probably come back here, go check out Portugal, come back here, maybe Turkey. I'm not sure, it depends. Yeah, I mean, can you, it's like mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. I just had a conversation with my cousin who, I love her. I'm probably closer to her than anyone in my entire family except my sister, who's closest to me in age. And she's a Republican. And she has no idea about what's going on. She's not MAGA, but she's part of the GOP, and like, she doesn't know. I mentioned a few things to her, and she's like, I mean, it's just, and she is a brilliant woman, but she doesn't know. And it was funny because I started to feel, I was talking to her and I started to feel like I probably sound crazy to her. Like, I bet I sound like I'm making a bigger deal out of things than what they are. So I had to really explain in detail just a small, like, smudgeon of some of the things that are going on, specifically that would impact her personally. Yeah, I don't understand how people are unaware of what's happening, other than where they're getting their news from, if they're even getting news. I know there's a lot of people in the country right now that have just turned off their TV. They just turn off their TV. They don't want to know. That is very dangerous. That's incredibly dangerous, in my humble opinion. So, yeah, we're going to start looking. Crazy times. Crazy frickin' times we're living in.